Welcome. This is Empower Sessions, where we're talking about maximizing the impact of federal education funding. This is video number 3, addressing the impacts of the pandemic, voices from the field. I am so excited to introduce to you Joanne Newfield, who represents Chester Community Charter School in Chester, Pennsylvania. And Chester Charter is a K-8 that serves a whopping 4,200 students, which is a lot of students for a K-8 system. And Chester, you should know, is a PowerSchool customer of 7 years. They launched eFinance Plus, the ERP or Unified Administration Solution, back in 2014. So they've been a PowerSchool customer for a while. Chester also launched Schoology as their learning management system in June 2020. So Joanne, if you'd like to just introduce yourself and say a few words about what you do at Chester Community Charter School.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I'm Joanne Newfield. I have 17 years in education. I also do teach as an adjunct professor of business and mathematics at Camden Community College, Camden County College. Here I do purchasing, budgets, payroll, financials, run audits, and pretty much everything through eFinance Plus runs through me for the school side.
So obviously made your life a whole lot easier being a PowerSchool customer back since 2014. And then when the pandemic hit, you were already kind of situated and well prepared to handle the impacts. But in terms of instructional planning, lessons and assignments, you want to talk about after PowerSchool when you brought some ESSER funds into the kind of situation and you brought on Schoology as your learning management system? What were the benefits of that?
Schoology for the 2020-2021 school year, CCCS, us, opened our doors virtually through the use of Schoology pretty much in its entirety. We did not have any virtual programs available prior to that. Without the use of the ESSER funds, we would have maintained the use of Google Classroom as our LMS and would not have been given the level of functionality that was present in Schoology. We also were able to up our technology level to a 1-to-1, which means that every student was given a Chromebook. Every teacher was given a laptop. We really could not have done the level of tutoring, integration, tracking, and virtual instruction without the Schoology, because it created a safe environment for the children to learn and grow with, and their family and friends could monitor their progress. Not only are the classes virtually housed on Schoology, K through 8, all buildings throughout our district and have their own Schoology pages. They communicate information to teachers, to families. We have morning announcements for the scholars that are housed in Schoology. Without Schoology, students would be unable to take ownership of their learning and progress, which means they do take ownership of what they do due to Schoology. The assignments as well as the grades are maintained right on that platform, very easy for them to access. This makes it so much easier for the families to follow up the children, making their own versions automatically, saving teachers time, saving the families time, and knowing exactly what the children need to do. Also, Schoology helps our buildings have collaborative learning groups. in addition to our central office, and our staff members can communicate effectively with anybody in the buildings. Our learning groups have created so much amazing progress for our scholars because they are supported for each grade level and subject area. Staff, they need to know where to find upgrades, and they can provide feedback on the success and areas of growth. All they have to do is understand Schoology, and voila, they're in. It's just totally amazing to us that we were able to actually find this wonderful product for everyone to share and grow with. And we grew into a school that was always using printouts, that never had enough technology, to the point where we had so much wonderful technology at our fingertips, and we were able to access it, utilize it, and instruct with it. We were able to measure and evaluate the proficiency that the badging system embedded within Schoology. The admin access in Schoology far outweighs any other features in Google Classroom. Principals have access that allows them to get usage of data on each classroom, teacher, and navigate across their buildings and also across the district in comparison. The amount of time that this would take on any other platform would effectively make it completely impossible to do it anywhere but in Schoology. For our school, it's been a lifesaver. We increased our communication, we had access to information and collaboration, and we were able to level the playing field for our students and teachers by providing them with 21st century tools and 21st century learning.
Wow. So it sounds like there was a little bit of a silver lining to all of these impacts, these rather large impacts to your district operations after the pandemic. It sounds like Schoology has been it's fallen within the win category. So I guess I'd love for you to talk about a little bit, Joanne, how did Chester approach using ESSER funds for their learning management system? This is a little bit of a discussion for folks to learn from you guys.
Basically, we have an amazing grants department. The grants department made a collaborative team out of doing the ESSER funding. They had representation from all departments, including IT, HR, accounting, budgeting, and of course, the education and all the admins. They go around the room and they ask people, what do you need? What's important to have? And they write it all into the grant funds, because as we all know, when you're writing grant funds, putting more down is better, because you never know what they're going to approve. And from there, we were able to get funding for all of the technology that we needed to gear up on staffing, to hire more experienced staffers. In fact, one of those super experienced staffers was someone that recommended us to Schoology.
Fantastic. So that experienced staffer came on and they said, hey, have you heard of PowerSchool? And you were like, yeah. And they were like, have you heard of Schoology? And you're probably like, tell me more, right?
Oh, we couldn't get enough of it. And when we saw all the information and the original videos, people were just so excited about using it and having it come here, because as I said before, the children weren't even allowed to take Chromebooks home. We didn't have enough for all the children. And subsequent, we've purchased literally thousands upon thousands of Chromebooks and computer equipment, in addition to safety equipment and gearing up, safety equipment and safety protocols for the different buildings.
Yeah.
We purchased a new network and a new phone system that enabled us to increase all that communication. And now with all the hardware in place, it is so exciting to know that for just a very small fee going forward, we can keep the software products and put that into our budget.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What are some lessons learned or insights to share on, sustainable funding into the future and kind of cost to benefit ratio?
Right. Well, in retrospect, I think that the products and the software products are relatively a small investment for the amount of the return on the investment. The return on the investment is huge. Just increasing communication, just having awareness of what's going on with teachers, whether they're in the classroom or they're at home. Having the students being able to get their lessons if they're home. As an example, we had a snow day during the shutdown and all the people were calling to find out if there were classes. Well, at that time, we were 100% virtual. Of course, they didn't have a snow day because everybody was virtual. They were, I guess, a little disappointed. I think we ended class a little early and told them to go play in the snow, right? But children who are absent are able to get their lessons and they're able to see the teacher in a hybrid status. And it's just amazing to me to see those faces when they're able to come back after a couple of days, whether they're sick or they're not, and they come back with their work performed, anxious and eager to learn because they know we have products that enable the scholars to continue to rise as our future leaders of the world.
That's amazing, Joanne. And will you be able to sustain this funding into the future? What happens after ESSER?
We do anticipate sustaining the funding for the subscriptions in the future, yes, because pretty much the hardware is in place at this point. The training is in place, our staff is in place. I haven't heard anything where we're going to cut anything from, I would say, my boss is the powers to be. I call them the powers to be.
So maybe incorporating some of that general fund into the situation where you can kind of take the load off of ESSER when that sunsets and carry it on to the future.
Correct. And hopefully our enrollment will go up and then we will be able to sustain even more, because as our enrollment goes up, we bill more, and then we have more funding to give better service and better education to the students. And pretty much the Chester community family is all about the students, all about treating people the way they should be treated, whether it's an employee, whether it's a student, a family member, or someone who just needs help. We're there for them.
Well, thank you so much, Joanne, for sharing the story of Chester Community Charter School in Chester, Pennsylvania. It sounds like PowerSchool was able to help a little bit with navigating the impacts of the pandemic. And if you have not already, folks, check out our other funding videos. We have a video on starting the funding conversation, and also a video about ESSER into 2022 and beyond, some good to knows. So thank you so much for joining. We hope that this has been beneficial, and for more information, visit powerschool.com.